The college football experience, SMU Mustangs 2023 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, brought to you by our very own Patreon. Yes, score exclusive perks, content, and contests, including our NFL win totals contest with a $1,000 prize. Join today at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. Once again, that's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We're also brought to you by Parlay Play. Yes, Parlay Play is a lead pipe lock for parlaying player props. Go to parlayplay.io. Use that promo code SGP for 100% deposit bonus today. Once again, Parlay Play. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
Hey, this is Derek Stevens. I'm the owner of Circa Las Vegas. You're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome. Welcome to the college football experience. SMU Mustangs 2023 season preview. They're in the headlines everywhere right now. Could they be in the ACC? There was Pac-12 rumblings, and could they be in the whatever that conference ends up with, the Mountain West Pac-12 or AAC or ACC? Crazy times in college football and SMU.
A lot of places they could end
They're
up.
on the forefront. Excited to talk about this team because I think Rhett Lashlee's got a solid team. We're going to talk about the offense, defense, special teams, transfer portal. And we're also going to go game by game on the schedule. Michael Barker is going to hop on to talk about old Gerald Ford Stadium. But look, perhaps you're wondering who the hell you're listening to. Well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dad, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Yes. Yes. Pony Express. All right, this is a Mike Leach podcast. Rest in peace to Coach Leach. So fuck you, Craig James. But we love the rest. The rest, of Pony Express.
Craig James, still number 4 on the all-time leading rushing list.
Well, they stopped running the ball. That's why.
Yeah. Eric Dickerson, well, to your point, the Pony Express was even Dickerson and James both graduated in 82, number 1 and number 4, respectively, still on their all-time rushing list. The next two guys that came along, Reggie Dupard and Jeff Atkins, who graduated in 85 and 86, respectively, are number 3 and number 6. So basically, 4 of their top 6 rushers were all on the same team almost. Or one team and then the next team following. Yeah. Now they do is throw the ball around.
Yeah, and they don't even have these. At one point they had Michael Carter and Jerry Ball at the defensive line. I mean, dude, they had hosses.
They were they were competitive talent wise with anyone in Texas. You know?
And it was bullshit that they got the death penalty because all these other schools. Dickerson got his car bought by A&M. All right, we're gonna talk all about it. I'm joined by my co-host. Give it up for former JMU Duke defensive back, the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi-oh. Well,
buddy, let's get it going. Let's talk about his Mustangs. All right.
Yeah, buddy.
June Jones, another friend of the program, used to coach here. Manuel Sanders, Cortland Sutton, Cole Beasley and his rap album. Oh, created. Dallas, Texas. And Patty C, let's talk about I want to talk about Rhett Lashlee, but I also want to talk about SMU's talking about joining the ACC where they wouldn't even ask for money for the first 5 years or something crazy like that. They are a true sleeping giant. If you have that money and you're in Dallas, Texas, there's not a college football team in Dallas, Texas.
Well, there was one 20, 30 minutes away in TCU, and we saw what they were just able to accomplish. Don't want to piss off
the ACC needs to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about Stanford and Cal. That's their own thing. I struggle to understand it. SMU makes 100% sense. Look, the ACC's got to get aggressive. We saw the Pac-12. They weren't aggressive. Now they're gone. It
doesn't make 100% sense.
Yes, it does.
Only because they're in Texas and not on the Atlantic coast.
That is why, though.
But in the modern landscape of college football and realignment, yes, it does make sense.
Yeah, and what's the advantage? Why did the SEC and Big Ten want to go grab other schools? To get into different time zones. Guess what? The ACC has one fucking time zone.
Yeah.
All right?
Apparently now regionality is not
So go get SMU. Go get whatever. I mean, it's already dead anyway. I don't want to see Stanford and Cal in the ACC, but it's already fucked anyway. But okay. Anyway, talk to me about Rhett Lashlee. First year, very talented team, Patty C. 7-6 is how it worked out. Now, Tanner Mordecai is off to Wisconsin. Preston Stone, their highest recruit ever. They weren't even sad to see him go necessarily.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, SMU kept it within one score. With TCU, played for the national championship. Kept it within one score with Maryland. Kept it within one score with the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Who were in the playoffs a couple years ago.
Kept it within 1 point with the BYU Cougars. But damn, did they get destroyed by Tulane and UCF. So here's the hard part.
Mainly good performances, though.
They only have, one win against a team with a winning record? Did Memphis have a winning record? I'm not sure. That's the concerning part. But it's year one for Lashlee. What do you think about Rhett Lashlee?
I think he,
2 wins with a winning record.
Is what he is, and his MO is reflected in the performance of the team in the offense and defensive rankings, respectively, which we'll get into. But to put it, plainly, they're very good at offense and they're very bad at defense.
That's been going on for quite some time. All right. Well, look, we're going to break down everything. Like I said, portal, offense, defense, special teams, the schedule, every single game on the schedule. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the college football experience, SMU Mustangs 2023 season preview episode, which is just one of 133 that we're doing. So go listen to all the other ones. It's brought to you by Sports Gambling Podcast Patreon. Yes, sign up for the Patreon to get access to exclusive contests, including the NFL Win Totals contest with $1,000 for first place up on the, up for grabs. And besides season-long contests, they'll also have weekly contests just for the patrons. Look, a monthly SGP Stories podcast. You might hear about the time Lenny Dykstra called stacking the money green 1,000 times, asking for a couple $100. I don't know. Well, maybe tell that story. Maybe a Mike Leach story. Maybe a Patty C story.
Come on.
Maybe, I don't know. We got a couple other stories about the time we played in a basketball league with, a bunch of comedians and might have lost by a large amount in a critical game. We got you covered there. Look, they're going to have all those stories from SGPN. There's even going to be a Discord channel just for the patrons, or there even is. Not going to be. There is. Only you can prevent corporate gambling. Do your part, people, and sign up today. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. That's SportsGamblingPodcast.com/Patreon. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride. All right, we are back on the college football experience. SMU Mustangs 2023 season preview. Patty C, let's talk about the portal because everyone's doing it. They're talking portal. Well, no. Everyone's doing it is in the transfer portal, so you actually have to unless you're Clemson for some reason, or Army, Navy, or Air Force for obvious reasons.
And then among teams that are just custom made for the transfer portal,
this is
SMU is it. Big money,
This one is going to go on for so long.
I mean, the fact that the donors have so much money that they're willing to forego 5 to 7 years worth of revenue from TV broadcasting rights.
They have an NIL deal where every player on the team's getting money.
That's right. Like every player's getting like $30,000 a year.
I don't remember what it is.
I did not know Methodists had this much money. Apparently they do.
Gotta love it though.
Gotta love it. And yeah, as far as the NIL and the transfer portal being wide open, SMU should be in good hands moving forward.
So I'm going to talk about what's departing before I talk about what's arriving, and we'll grade it based on that. Linebacker Pierre Gore is gone. Portal. Tight end Simon Gonzalez heads out to Texas State and San Marcos. G.J. Kinney. Offensive tackle Rhett Larson. Almost Rhett Lashlee. Rhett Larson heads out to Sam Houston State in the CUSA. Wide receiver Dylan Goffney heading out to the Colorado State Rams and Jay Norvell.
18 catches.
Danielson Ike on the offensive line headed out to Missouri State. Used to be Bobby Petrino's team, a.k.a. Road Rash Face. Defensive lineman Bobby Duncombe. It's in the portal. Wide receiver Bo Corrales. We talked about him on the show yesterday. Used to be at North Carolina. Now he's heading down to Texas State and San Marcos.
Not too bad.
He's in the 7th year of college football.
Only had 6 catches.
But at Carolina, he had some.
Yeah.
Safety Donald Clay heading out to Southeast Louisiana, the Lions in the Southland. Subscribe to the FCS College Football Experience because I host that. They're projected to potentially be back in the FCS playoffs. Kicker Brendan Hall heads out to Montana State and Bozeman. They're great in the Big Sky. Safety Roderick Roberson heads to Louisiana Tech and Sonny Cumbie. Running back Trey Siggers. Now, I like Trey. He was at North Texas. He transferred to SMU, but there was a lot of cooks in the kitchen in the backfield. He heads out to Incarnate Word.
Roberson, by the way, 29 tackles, good for 11th on the team last year. And who was the running back?
Trey Siggers.
Trey Siggers. Oh, yeah.
He's
4th on the team in rushing, 229 yards.
He was good at North Texas, though. Linebacker Deuce Palmer heads out to USC, Petty C. That's a big one, huh?
That hurts.
Also, wide receiver Jaylen Record heads out to Weber State. Is that Ogden? I don't remember. Somewhere in Utah. And then 4-star quarterback Tanner Mordecai heads out to the Wisconsin Badgers. Well, like I said, Stone was pressing Mordecai anyway. Go get paid. Go to Wisconsin. We got Preston Stone, our highest recruit, and trust me, they were in a spot where they were going to lose one of the two. So it's like, whatever, go with the youth movement.
Mordecai in 12 games was good for 18th in the nation in passing yards, 8th in the nation in passing touchdowns. You know, Lashlee is going to do what he does. He's going to throw the ball around. No, I guess we'll get to that in a little bit. But Mordecai's the big. I
don't think that's a big loss.
That's not a huge hit. I would say the loss of Rashee Rice in the draft, 2nd round pick 24 to the Chiefs. He had almost 1,400 receiving yards.
Stud DFS play. When we did our DFS shows every Thursday, Thursday and Friday, that guy was played all the time.
He hit the old NFL transfer portal.
Yeah. Running back TJ McDaniel heads out to the Lumberjacks of Northern Arizona. Cornerback Jaden Lawton hit JUCO route, going to the JUCO route. Defensive end Trey Fight heading to the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Tough there, right?
Don't want to leave a fighter.
Defensive end Travion Sneed heads out to Northwestern State in the Southland. Defensive lineman Darren Brown to Incarnate Word in the Southland. The Southland just coming in and grabbing these guys. Wide receiver Calvin Wiggins heads to Houston Christian, formerly Houston Baptist.
None of these dudes massive contributors.
Safety Chase Cromartie hits the portal. And I believe that is everybody. Now, we ready for the incoming?
Yeah.
Buckle up. Because Notre Dame offensive tackle Caleb Johnson, 4-star transfer, Patty C.
Gotta love that.
Notre Dame's just studs on the offensive line and the defensive line, really. That's a huge get. That's all right. That's to me more important than Mordecai.
I mean, I guess if Stone,
because you have Stone
provided nice depth.
SMU hasn't had a bad quarterback in like 20 years.
That's true.
They're just going to have guys that fire the laser.
The flip side of, I guess, the running backs being, all throughout the top of the record books is that nowadays it's the quarterbacks. Tanner Mordecai, 3rd all-time in passing yards. Before him, Shane Buechele, 4th all-time. Garrett Gilbert, 5th all-time.
Yeah. They got guys. 4-star wide receiver
Ben
transfer.
Hicks, in between Gilbert is number 1 all-time. So 4 of their top 5 quarterbacks are their last 4 quarterbacks that played for them.
4-star wide receiver transfer Jordan Hudson from TCU. This is TCU's a rival. I love this rivalry because you have SMU fans super pissed that Sonny Dykes took the TCU job. They play for the Iron Skillet.
Yeah.
It's disgusting that players are transferring back and forth, but I almost think that might fuel the rivalry some. Jordan Hudson, big time get for SMU. They also got cornerback Kyron Chambers from TCU. So pocketbook, go in and grab 2 guys. Defensive lineman Corey Roberson from the Oklahoma Sooners transfers in, Patty C.
There you go.
They play Oklahoma on the schedule this year. North Texas defensive end Cam Robertson heading from Denton to Dallas.
Keeping it local.
Cornerback Keyshawn Mills from the Colorado Buffaloes. Dion said, get out of there. Okay, SMU will take him. Had some depth.
Dion does Dallas once again.
Yeah. Micah Hiltz from Texas State. Remember, they gave a couple players at Texas State. They go out and get Michael Hiltz at the tight end spot coming into SMU. Offensive lineman Ja'Kai Clark from the Miami Hurricanes, Patty C.
There you go.
Temple linebacker Kobe Wilson.
He brought over a couple Miami guys
from 2 years ago, and then even more this year.
Yeah.
Linebacker Kobe Wilson from the Temple Owls, who reside in the same conference. Then they go out and get Liberty, the Flamin' Libs, cornerback Chris Megginson comes in. LSU cornerback Jalen Davis Robertson comes in.
There you go.
Texas Longhorn offensive lineman Logan Parr comes in.
I know that defensive back depth is a concern. So getting someone from DBU to bolster the secondary,
You've
that's
added
nice.
an offensive lineman from Texas and Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
And Miami.
Corn-fed.
Another Texas Longhorn transfer, punter Isaac Pearson transferring in. Wide receiver from the Miami Hurricanes, Romello Brinson transfers in. Starting cornerback from the Fresno State Bulldogs, who won the Mountain West Championship a year ago, cornerback Cale Sanders transfers in.
There you go.
Running back Jaylan Knighton from the Miami Hurricanes transfers in.
That's a big one.
Defensive lineman Jordan Miller from the Miami Hurricanes, not to be confused with the basketball Miami Hurricane Jordan Miller, transfers in to SMU. Flamin' Libs, Liberty Flames, linebacker Ahmad Walker transfers in, Patty C.
There you go.
And Liberty's got fuck you money, but I think SMU has more fuck you money. Missouri Tigers offensive tackle Hiron White transfers in. Texas A&M running back 4-star transfer get LJ Johnson. Sounds like Grandma Ma.
A&M
right?
running back transfer?
Yeah.
I thought they'd be done with that by now. I guess Dickerson wasn't a transfer.
Show up in a gold car, LJ. Let's go. Offensive tackle from Texas A&M, Patty C. PJ Williams transferring in.
Yeah.
Buddy. Miami wide receiver Keyshawn Smith transferring in. Miami defensive lineman Elijah Roberts transfers in.
This feels like Jimmy Johnson coming to Dallas.
Quarterback from Iowa. I don't know why they would go for Alex Padilla is coming in. Watch him be awesome.
Well, Iowa defensive backs and
no, quarterback.
Oh, quarterback. Oh, yeah, never mind.
Chuck Long 2.0 and Alex Padilla. Safety Jonathan McGill from the Stanford Cardinal transfers in. West Virginia cornerback Charles Woods transfers in. I would certainly say they won the portal.
Yeah.
I actually think you could argue this is one of the best in like in all the schools.
Yeah, not only did they, obviously bring in more talent than they lost, the fact that they had Preston Stone ready to step in for their biggest loss in the portal kind of nullifies that anyway. So, yeah, they definitely won.
I mean, this team is very talented. I think if this is a recruiting rankings thing, Petty C, they should destroy the AAC.
Is that right? Let me
with the transfers added in.
Grab that.
I find it hard to believe that who are they going up against? Memphis, ECU, Tulane. I doubt there's 4 and 5 stars.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. The most recent talent composite by 24/7 Sports is from last year, 2022. They were number 3 behind UCF and Cincy, who are gone.
Yeah.
Number 4 was Houston, who's gone. So they are number 1. And
is that even? That's not even factored in what they brought in the portal.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this year exactly. No, they're gonna.
I mean, Notre Dame, LSU, A&M, 30 Miami transfers, Iowa transfers. I mean, just I'm sure they're by far the most talented team in this conference.
Absolutely. In the current recruiting cycle, though, kind of behind the 8 ball. Now they only have 8 recruits while everyone else has.
Because they're portal kings.
Yeah,
They are portal kings.
they are not hitting the recruiting trail too hard.
All right, let's talk about this offense because a year ago, Rhett Lashlee comes in and they were the 12th best scoring offense in America, Patty C. 64th in rush offense. Should they emphasize the run more, Patty C? I don't know, because they were 7th in the nation in pass offense, charting at the 14th best offense in the nation for Casey Woods, their OC.
I don't think you necessarily need to commit to the run. If the pass is working for you,
Sure.
then it is. And the pass is working for you if you're the 14th best offense in the country.
Yeah, certainly. And, buddy, Preston Stone, now the quarterback. Behind him, Kevin Jennings. They also have Padilla and Keldrick Luster. Owen Easley as well, and Charlie Pfizer. Pfizer Permanente here there. Preston Stone's their guy. Running back situation. You gotta love the running back room right now. I mean, this running back room really fucking good. Jaylan Knighton, LJ Johnson, Tyler Lavine, and Camar Wheaton. Wasn't Camar Wheaton? That was the Alabama transfer.
Yeah,
they have a shit ton of great running backs.
Yeah, Camar Wheaton good for over 5 yards rush. Jaylan Knighton only 4.3 yards per rush for the career, but I do recall him having some
This
pretty
is by far the best
stellar performances.
This is one of the best running back rooms probably in America. Like,
Bold
you have
statement.
4 guys that are all key players, like that have shown that they can play.
Yeah. I would like to see one of them break out. You know,
Dude, they also have.
I guess it's tough when you're throwing the ball that much.
They have Velton Gardner too. Wasn't he at Kansas a couple years back? Wide receiver room. Roderick Daniels is back. Jordan Curley, I believe that's the younger brother to Jeremy Curley, who played at TCU back in the day. Played for the New York Jets.
Nice. Jordan Curley was good for 37 receptions, second on the team last year, 588 yards.
And I know they're counting on Jordan Hudson from TCU coming in, and also Kelvontay Dixon is someone they're excited about. I think the wide receiver core is got guys. I don't worry. Tight end RJ Maryland is back. Started 6 games a season ago.
Yeah.
Patty C, 4 out of 5 are back on the offensive line. Well, if I should let me say this correctly. 4 of 5 were starters last year in college football. All right.
How many are considered returning starters though on this team?
That were at SMU last year.
4 out of the 5 were?
No.
Because
Hiron White, who's started at Missouri last year, he transferred in. Also, the Texas guy, Logan Parr, started at the Texas Longhorns.
Wow.
But they do return Justin Osborne at the right guard spot. He was second team all AAC a season ago. And that's not even counting the Notre Dame transfer.
Yeah.
This team
sounds like the offense is not going to really lose a step.
Yeah, I think they actually could be better potentially, because you got to remember the AAC, you lose UCF, Houston, Cincy, and you bring up these CUSA teams. So I think, they're sitting on something nice there.
Preston Stone doesn't have a huge, resume. 31 of 55 for the career, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So, I mean, he's pretty much getting his first real action here. But if he lives up to the hype and he's
their highest recruit ever.
I don't know if that's true. I mean, it must be, but Mordecai, I'm pretty sure, was a 5-star. So,
but he transferred from Oklahoma.
Okay, but even still, it's not like he's more talented necessarily based on recruiting rankings than Mordecai. So,
wasn't Stone a 5-star too, though?
4, I think. 4
really?
to 5.
I thought he was 5.
I thought he was 5 at one point too.
Yeah.
You know how they do.
Yeah.
Oh, you committed to SMU?
Cormani McLean, you're going to the Colorado Buffaloes. Let's downgrade you 1 star.
Yeah. You were the number 2 player in the nation.
Yeah, we're gonna put
now
you at
you're
35.
a 4-star,
yeah.
right?
Okay, the defensive side of the ball, Patty C. Scott Simon's got his work cut out for him. Last season, 118th in scoring defense. The hell? Rush defense, even worse, 119th. Pass defense, 71st. But once again, it's probably because they would just run the ball. Total defense charting at 111. They're one of the 20 worst defenses in America last year, Patty C. Now, they were active in the portal. Most of those guys, I feel like, Jordan Miller penciled in to be a starter. Some of these other guys, the Charles Woods from West Virginia, McGill from Stanford, the Texas defensive back coming in. I mean, they brought in a slew of guys. Fresno State, Cale Sanders is supposed to be starting. So, based on that, based on the fact they were starters in college football, Patty C.
Yeah.
They returned 2 of 3 on the defensive line. They returned 3 of 4 in the linebacking core. So the defensive line, Jordan Miller comes in from Miami, presents in to be a starter. Devere Levelston is back starting as well.
He's a returning starter, but not a huge contributor, I guess, to the defensive line position, especially with a 3-man front. You're kind of just asked to be a fire hydrant and chew up blocks while the linebackers do their thing.
Well, they also have Elijah Chapman, who had 21 starts, third team all AAC a season ago. Second or linebacking core. Jaden Jones is there. Also Nelson Paul, who had 9.5 sacks with the Mustangs in 4 years. Ahmad Walker and Kale Sanders is the nickelback. Hang on. So you're only breaking in one new guy, and that's the transfer from Temple, Kobe Wilson, who was projected to start. The secondary, Patty C. I mean, everyone was a starter elsewhere. So you look at this, you're like, Kale Sanders started at Fresno State, they won the Mountain West Championship. Yeah. And I also know they like Brandon Crossley behind him. But Chris Meganson was 33 starts at Liberty, right? Comes in at the corner spot. Charles Woods started at West Virginia, right? And I know they like Jahari Rogers as well. Then they bring back their safety Ahmad Moses, right? Started last year, a couple games. Free safety Jonathan McGill transfers in from Stanford. He started 24 games at Stanford. All right.
Good guys. Meganson broken up 11 passes over the last 2 years.
They return their kicker, and they bring in the punter from Texas. Patty C, the defense has just got to be better. Just the fact the AAC is a bunch of the CUSA teams, it's got to be better this year.
The AAC, you said? Or
the AAC's talent level isn't the same because all those schools left.
Yeah.
So the schedule's going to be lighter. The defense will put up better numbers. And I think the defense will actually be better from a roster standpoint than it was a year ago.
Well, you're right. No UCF that was on the roster schedule last year. Cincy was, and Houston was. Now, granted, well, yeah, they were 1-2 in those 3 games. So, yeah, if that becomes 3-0, we're looking at a much nicer record here.
And by the way, currently to win the AAC championship, SMU plus 330. Hell, I think they're clearly the most talented team. We're going to get to it. We're going to go game by game on the schedule. But before we do that, I want to tell you that the SMU Mustangs 2023 season preview is brought to you by Parlay Play. Yes, Parlay Play is a great way to get down to your favorite parlay player props. Football season is right around the corner, and Parlay Play will have all of your favorite props. Parlay Play is available in a ton of states, too, including California and Texas, plus our good friends up north, Canada. All right, Parlay Play is available in a bunch of different provinces there. And when you sign up, make sure you use our code, and you'll get a sweet bonus to get you started. A parlay that I already like for week 0 is the fact that give me the over on the USC San Jose State game. I think it's at 64. I think San Jose State could score enough on that USC defense, and I think Rich Rodriguez is going to win the home opener, the first ever FBS game for Jacksonville State as they host the UTEP Miners. Parlay that. Thank me later. Head over to parlayplay.io. Use the promo code SGP for 100% deposit bonus up to $100. Once again, that's parlayplay.io. Promo code SGP. All right, folks, we're back on the college football experience. And remember, folks, you watch this thing on YouTube. All right, it's the hub for all of our podcasts. So go check this out. We're there. The college football experience. I also host the FCS college football experience, the college basketball experience. Big year for Lanier in year 2 in Dallas. As you know, that program I think can really be good as well. Every night of the college basketball season, I'll be here. Also, the Big 12 experience. You want to know what's going on with Longhorns or the Horned Frogs or Red Raiders, Cougars? That shit, everybody now.
Could be the Mustangs at some point.
Yeah, and the college baseball experience. Subscribe, tell a friend, and we come together as one on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience. All right. If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/the college experience, as I just said, the win total, you see the sweet graphic. Shout out to Cam Kerr, even though he is an A&M guy. Disgusting. But the win total sitting at 8, Patty C. 8. Look, on first thought, I'm like, hammer the over because
Yeah, the
That
schedule's easier.
well,
And
they're clearly the most talented team, right? According to your recruiting rankings.
managed 7-5 last year.
7-6 because they lost the BYU in the bowl game.
Yeah, I mean regular season, but a little bit easier of a sledding here makes you think they. And plus, year 2.
Yeah, year 2 under Rhett Lashlee, the talent they brought in the portal.
Yeah,
let's talk about it because week 1, although this game's a little sneaky, Sonny Cumbie, Texas quarterback legend, played for Mike Leach at Texas Tech. He's now coaching Louisiana Tech, and guess what? They do get the benefit of having a week 0 game. A lot of Tech does. But then they head into old Gerald Ford Stadium in Dallas, Texas, Patty C. And I got SMU 1-0. But that game, high chance that they score over 100 points in this game.
Well, one of 2 Sonnies they'll be coaching against in the first 4 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know if I think they
Hank Bachmeier, quarterback at La Tech.
Handle La Tech. They didn't play him last year, but I still think they'll get him.
I got a 1-0. Now they head to Gaylord Family Stadium, and I like this game. You know, Oklahoma did cancel their game against Georgia, cowards. But I do like this game because SMU wants to be in the Big 12. Oklahoma's the party in the Big 12. Here's an opportunity. Here's an opportunity right here. Give me Oklahoma to win, but I am going to be rooting for those Mustangs. I am going to be rooting for those Mustangs. So what are you doing here week 2, Pat?
I mean, wasn't it not just a couple years ago, Tulane going into Norman and almost
lost by 5.
Out?
Yeah, should have had their opportunities.
SMU could be the Tulane of this season, have a miracle run and find themselves winning the Cotton Bowl right there in Dallas. But we'll see. They don't necessarily need to win this game to make that happen. But, boy, this would be huge. Still, I got to give it to the Sooners.
Yeah, 1-1, and then they're hosting Prairie View A&M. Shout out to my guy Bubba McDowell. I had a chance to interview him about a year ago. Head coach of Prairie View, former Houston Oiler and Miami Hurricane. I got him 2-1. I think they beat Prairie View in Dallas, and then the Iron Skillet. Dude, I think this is a winnable game this year.
Yeah,
I really do. TCU lost a lot. Max Duggan, Johnson, they lost a lot of talent. I'll put it like that. Now they brought in some talent, but
SMU
was a 1-score game a year ago.
Winners of 2 of the last 3.
This is a game.
This game is the same score every single year. 4 years ago, 42-12. I guess not. That was a lower scoring version, but 3 years ago, 41-38, then 42-34. Then last year again, 42-34.
Who are you taking here?
I think I'm taking SMU.
I think I am too. 3-1.
Yeah.
Let's go. Then they're home to Biff Poggi. Watch out for the letdown spot here, because if you win the Iron Skillet, I can see Biff Poggi, who's by far the greatest name in college football, with the cigars, and he feels disrespected. 4-1 to start the season off, Patty C.
Yeah.
They get a bye week, but then they got a Thursday night to get rowdy at the Dowdy.
ECU also coming off a bye, obviously.
Dude, ECU's winning that game.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
4-2.
Yep.
Back-to-back away. Weeknight. They head to the Link. EJ Warner, son of Kurt Warner. Stan Drayton.
They're just a considerably more talented
they're going to
team
be
than
Temple.
Temple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, probably over 100 points in that game, too. Then they're home to the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, breaking in brand new head coach Kevin Wilson. That's a win. I only got 2 losses on the schedule so far, Patty C.
That's a little bit of an interesting game, just because Tulsa keeps a decent program. I know they weren't great last year, 5-7, but look, they had a hard schedule. I guess you could say that. I don't know.
I'm taking SMU.
I'm leaning SMU too. I'm just trying to make a case here for Tulsa.
Yeah. So I got them sitting there at what? 6-2.
6-2.
Now they head to Rice Stadium to take on 35-year-old JT Daniels.
Things are looking good. I feel like they go in there and get it done.
I think I would favor them too.
7-2.
Home to North Texas. Eric Morris, new head coach of the Mean Green. Another Mike Leach guy. I think they're more talented. 8-2.
8-2.
All right, now huge game. Notice how they avoid UTSA, Tulane, and Florida Atlantic. 3 of the better schools projected, in UAB even kind of a mystery team.
Yeah.
They head to the Liberty Bowl to take on Memphis. I think they're better than Memphis.
Well, they beat them last year in Dallas by 3 on the last game of the season, 34-31.
I still think
This
they're better
time-
than Memphis.
You got to go to Memphis.
I think they have more talent than Memphis.
Memphis could be a dance partner if the Big 12 wants to expand by 2. Bring SMU and Memphis over. I like that. I think they're a little better than Memphis too. I don't think this game's a gimme, and in fact, I think the fact that they play Navy and Navy team gives teams.
I was about to say, wait, the final game,
Yeah.
is a tricky one. They're home to Navy.
No, is the Navy running the triple option still like fully?
No, they're doing shotgun.
Oh, they moved
Yeah.
to the gun too.
Just talk to Randy Cross about it. Go listen to that Randy Cross interview. Does the play-by-play for all Navy home games. Former San Francisco 49er, Super Bowl champ. We just did an episode, talked a lot of college football with him. Go listen to that
And
interview
one of the
and
better
Phil Steele.
mustaches
Yeah.
in American history. They're gonna lose one of those last 2, I think.
Yeah, but you still have a 9-3.
9-3, numbers 8, smash.
Let
the
me
over.
ask you something here.
10-2 is possible.
Well, let me just I'm not saying this is going to happen because I don't even know about Rhett Lashlee, but is there a flat out 100% loss on this schedule? Because like Oklahoma was 6-7 a year ago.
I feel like between the road trip to Oklahoma and the road trip to TCU, you're pretty much guaranteed a one loss in that.
Fair. Either way, I love the over, and I might lock this thing up.
Yeah, me too.
Folks, there we go. We're both on the over.
Program trending in the right direction.
Make sure you check out our locks episode in a week or two, and I think you might hear this one on there. Look, before we get out of here, I had a chance to sit down with Michael Barker, aka College Football Campus Tour. If you don't know who he is on Twitter, this guy goes to every game. I got a chance to talk to him about his experiences down to Dallas to check out SMU football. So with no further ado, here is that interview. College football experience, SMU Mustangs 2023 season preview episode is none other than Michael Barker, aka College Football Campus Tour. Yes, on Twitter, give him a follow at CFB Campus Tour. I call Michael the College Football Stadium king. All right, he's the king of College Football Stadium. If anything, when he comes in to see your College Football Stadium, much like Eric Dickerson with his gold Corvette or whatever it was in that Pony Express 30 for 30, Michael Barker should be given that vehicle to come into to tour your College Football Stadium, because the guy's been to every single, all 133 college football stadiums. And he's been to a lot of the FCS, a lot of the a lot of D2, and a lot of D3, and he documents all of his travels. Sometimes he's going to 5, 6, 7 games a week. Absolutely unbelievable work. He does the photo of the game, talks about the history of the stadium. So it's just a must follow if you love college football. Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show, man. Talk a little Gerald Ford Stadium, man.
Thank you for having me. And I would love the Eric Dickerson treatment if somebody wants to do that. So that would be great. But yeah, this is one of, in the grand scheme of college football, opened in 2000. So it's a fairly new stadium.
Yeah. I mean, look, I was a bit surprised at that because I knew obviously you had a little bit of that history with, the Pony Express, Craig James and Dickerson. I was surprised to see that they have a new stadium because I just felt like the old one's probably pretty classic, but the stadium does look kind of cool. I'm doing the Google image thing right now. I mean, I guess tell me a little bit about the history here and how many times have you been here?
Yeah, so it's built on the same site as their former stadium. It's Ownby Stadium, and they played there from 1926 to 48, and then also from 1989 to 1994. It has a 32,000 seat capacity. It's expandable to 45,000. There is some construction going on right now. There was a grassy berm area in one of the end zones, and they're putting seats there. They also have I think in the other end zone is a Gary Weber end zone complex. It's a $100 million project that is supposed to be ready by the start of next season. And one little factoid, king of college football stadiums, but we all can learn as we go. Gerald J. Ford Stadium is not named after Gerald Ford, the 38th president of the United States. It's named after Gerald J. Ford, billionaire banker. So I learned something, and I went to a game last year at SMU, and I didn't even know that. So I'm glad I didn't tweet. It's the only stadium named after a president, or else I would have heard it. So
the irony is that wasn't. I think Gerald Ford looking at he was like the president was like a huge huge football guy.
Yep.
So the irony is hilarious because anyone would think, hey, it has to be him. Unbelievable. We got a Michael B. Jordan situation going on with college football stadiums. All right.
Yeah, he played at Michigan, right? That was one of the things that they always talked about. The only NFL or president to play college football or something like that. So yeah, I was shocked, and I'm glad I didn't reveal myself as not knowing any time.
I would have fell for it too, man. That's hilarious. How many times have you been to the stadium, man?
So I've been there twice, and it's for the same opponent. It was a rivalry game at TCU. The first time was in 2018. It was a weeknight game, and I won't forget it because there was a 3-hour rain delay, and they were playing that game. It didn't matter, and so it ended about 1:00 in the morning. Not that many people were left, but for me, where else am I going to go? I'm just going to drive to the airport. So watch that. And then last year, it was a highly anticipated game because it was the return of Sonny Dykes. He took the job at TCU. He left SMU. SMU felt like that they were on this trajectory to be, a P5, and he jumped at TCU. Obviously had a great year, took him to the national championship game. But that game was sold out, highly anticipated. TCU did win. And much like my experience at San Diego State a couple weeks before, this was a notable game because it was extremely hot. They ran out of water by the end of the second quarter. People were taking cover under the bleachers. And there was a writer for the Dallas Morning News who saw that I was at the game, contacted me for an interview. And I told him, this is anticipated, but also was unanticipated. You should stock your concessions for all situations, but at the same time, students are at their first game. They're, the reason they didn't get in their seats the whole time is because they're not just going to sit there for 3.5 hours and get sunburned. So they roamed around the stadium. They took cover. So hopefully, when you have a conference that wants to play in every time slot and the majority of your teams are in Texas, somebody's got to play at 11 a.m. And so it was tough from a spectator standpoint, but again, it was sold out. People wanted to hopefully get revenge against Coach Dykes. It didn't happen, but I know they have a weeknight game this year, so maybe that'd be a better one for people to go check out when it's a little bit cooler and it's a night game.
There we go. Yeah, I love the fact you went to the Battle of the Iron Skillet. Yes, that's a rivalry that goes back to 1915, folks. Just a great rivalry. Yeah. Well, man, I got to get out to that stadium and yeah, it sounds like quite the experience you had there. Folks, make sure you give Michael a follow at CFB Campus Tour. Because like I said, it's just a must follow. He's going to all these games left and right, it's just a must follow. I didn't know the guy. And then I saw, Twitter, somehow the algorithm recommended it. And I'm looking at the page. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy going to every single, pulling off 5 stadiums in 4 nights? You're just like, what? Michael, I appreciate you hopping on the show, man. And maybe one day I'll catch you at Gerald J Ford Stadium. Have a wonderful day, man. And thanks for hopping on the show.
Thank you for having me, Colby.
Anytime, man. Michael Barker, General Ford Stadium. I'm calling it now. All right. Gerald Ford Stadium. Whatever. Right.
It's a nice little stadium.
It's a great stadium. I like
brick exterior.
I like it, and I hope that they can continue to pursue this P5 thing. Because look, that who it's going to piss off? It's going to piss off the Longhorns. Piss off. Let's go.
Can you imagine a team that was able to financially challenge Texas and Texas A&M? Both of those teams have the highest revenue, I want to say, of any teams in the country.
Yeah.
But if your boosters are even more powerful,
let's go.
They'll be shitting themselves.
Go.
Yeah. And that's what they did when they gave you all the death penalty.
Yeah.
The first time around for the same shit they were doing.
Yeah. Folks, we're both on the over. This might be on the locks episode, so jump on that. Plus 350. What did I say? 330, 350 to win the AAC. I think that's a decent option too. And subscribe to the College Football Experience. Please, if you can, hop on over to iTunes, give us a 5-star review. Come on, it's the season. It takes 2 minutes. Do 133 previews, for Christ's sake. All right, get over there. Give us a 5-star review. Look, subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/the College Experience. Tell a friend, all that good stuff. All the other feeds, College Basketball Experience, College Baseball Experience, College Big 12 College Experience, FCS College Football Experience. Subscribe. All right, all those. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as they break down all 32 NFL teams. And Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store or Google Play Store. And come talk ball with us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. All right, folks. Till next time, this is the college football experience, Pony Express style.
Woo.
You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.